Welcome. Astrology readings have to be in person. And I'm kind of winging this one. I had this on my mind, been really busy lately. And this is a really important topic that it's never really going to be fully understood, but I'm going to lay it out here as best I can. The reason why astrology readings need to be in person. When I say in person, I mean it could be phone, preferably in person, but phone call, video call, something where the consulting astrologer or slash counselor slash teacher, helper, whatever, can see the person and use at least some of their life experience to help them uh, counsel the person properly. Or even if we're talking about, let's say we're talking about prediction, because I think most people want to know, a lot of people want to know what's going to happen, or they want confirmation that they're on the right path. So let me give you an example. I have a neighbor, or used to be a neighbor. His father is still currently my neighbor, and this kid or this guy is retarded. And I grew up with this kid. He's probably 5 or 6 years younger than me. His older brother, was maybe like 2 years younger than me. So I've known this guy since he was born, pretty much, or since he was like 4 or 5 years old. And he's changed, as I said, he's legitimately retarded, and he's changed over time slightly. But take this guy for example. If you look at his chart, and if he says, well, I want to know if I'm going to be married, and he's typing this online. He can't do this, but let's just say he's not that bad, and he could type online and say, I want to know if I'm going to get married. And I'm looking at his chart, and I'm like, there's no way this guy's getting married. Looking at the chart. But then let's say I meet him in person, and I'm talking to him in person, etc. Now I know that there's very little chance that this guy's getting married, and that looking at the chart, I can use that information, and I can say, okay, uh, 99.999%, this guy's not going to get married. Okay, he probably should set his sights on something else, or at least put most of his energy into something else. Now, let's say it's the same chart, but it's me. And the person, let's say I'm the person, I'm single, and I want to know if I'm getting married, and I'm typing it out. And the guy's like, it's not a good chart for marriage. Very unlikely this guy's getting married. But if you talk to me in person, if you the viewer watching, hearing me talk, and you even just watch some of my videos alone, you would say that doesn't make sense. This person at least has a decent chance to get married based on what you're seeing right now. And if you talk to me in person and get to know a little bit about my story and my life, and then look at the chart and say, well, the chart's not giving great evidence, but maybe it's not terrible, and that maybe there's a chance that this person could be married for a few years or later in life, or something like that. So that's just my example. That you can think of many examples like this, where uh, you just couldn't give someone any information without it being worthless, without talking to them. Trying to think of maybe some other examples. I knew another guy who had epilepsy, and as he got older, he got treated better, or he got better treatment, and he got better. And it was like this guy was gradually getting to a place in life, and you would never thought this guy would get married and or have like a job. Now he's got a career, he's married. I mean, I would be surprised if he ever had kids. But let me get back to my main point here, is that we can look at, from evolutionary astrology would teach that there's basically 3 levels of consciousness, which this is another reason why you have to talk to the person. and the one is based on the consensus. The second one is individuating, and the third one is spiritual. And really, they blend. They can be in a blend. They're blending together. This is very difficult to assess for an astrologer. It's another reason probably why people don't do it, because it's too difficult to really get it right. So we have this idea of the consensus. A consensus person comes and he wants to know some things. Let's say the consensus person really doesn't really is really in between consensus individuated, and they want to know, they're talking about uh they're talking about desiring things that don't quite fit with an individuated consciousness, but at the same time, they're also talking about things that do fit with an individuated for an that do fit a person that would be labeled as individuated consciousness. Now you can kind of get an idea that maybe there's like a blend. There's like a blend here. They could be going through some just life, these certain phases in life, and again, that would be very difficult to make any real assessment. Uh, because the two different consciousnesses could be, and looking at the chart, they could be, a lot of different things can happen in the future. So that's just another example that you couldn't just look at the chart. Like, you could look at the chart and see someone who's possibly individuated, and hear the person talking, and you might, after hearing them talk and looking at the chart, you might say, well, you're at a crossroads. I see you're at a crossroads, and you have a lot of indecision, and you're very unsure of yourself. And this has been a common theme in your life. So maybe you should, maybe I shouldn't say should, but maybe you might want to think about, you might be able to give this advice. You might want to think about getting some consistency in your life, so that you can work at the individuated things. Because more likely than not, you're not going to become this highly individuated person based on talking to you, or this individuated conscious based on talking to you and based on your chart. So maybe you want to take this a little slower than you are, than you maybe desire at this point, because it may be hurting you. So there's all these different things that an astrologer can do that really has to happen in person. So I'm going to leave you there with that. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, because there'll be more. If you enjoy this topic, there'll be much more in the future. So thanks for watching, and have a great night.